Well, good Saturday evening to you. Owen Fritzen here with an update. We're looking at some weather coming into our area tomorrow. So, springtime type weather that we're expecting for tomorrow, not necessarily wintertime weather. We're going to be possibly in the low 60s across Ohio tomorrow, which is huge for many of us. Again, that low 60s is something that we're continuing to look at. So, let's kind of dive into what we're seeing here. Right now, we got a lot of action going on here down in the southern part of the United States. We got a ton of tornado warnings down here in Louisiana. And prayers to some of those counties that's been affected and towns that's been affected. There's been a lot of tornadoes that has spun up across this afternoon and early evening. You could see here the tornado watch box, but then all of these individual boxes are tornado warnings as it pushes across the state. So it's definitely in Mississippi, I should say, not Louisiana, sorry, through Mississippi, and it impacted Louisiana earlier. But some of that is going to impact our weather here for tomorrow. So let's go ahead and bring you back in our area. Right now, not a lot going on as far as precipitation. We had a little bit of rain earlier. Tomorrow, we can see some soaking rain with 1 to 2 inches possible in many areas tomorrow. The biggest factor that we're seeing here, and I'm kind of going to start off with this, is we do have a chance for some severe weather. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center has put us underneath what's known as the slight risk, not slight risk, I'm getting excited, marginal risk of severe weather for tomorrow. So what that means is I'll turn off the radar here quick, and let me turn off this quick as well. So kind of looking at this, where we see this marginal risk, and we have this lighter green, which is just a general risk of severe thunderstorms tomorrow, or thunderstorms, I should say, and a slight risk, marginal risk. I'll get it right today. It's been a while since I've been back in the seat here with springtime type weather. Marginal risk for the areas in green tomorrow that we could see some storms get a little bit cranky tomorrow. So what I mean by that is this. We're going to see a very, very tight pressure gradient tomorrow, which means we're going to see a lot of gusty winds tomorrow. Winds anywhere. It's going to be breezy. You can see, between 16, 20 miles an hour for some of the areas that we're looking at here in the southern part of Ohio. That's kind of the averages coming in tomorrow. But as the front pushes through tomorrow, we can see wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, and some of those could even get a little bit more cranky, up to about 58 miles an hour, which is where that severe risk comes in. The chance of actually seeing thunder or hearing thunder and lightning tomorrow is low, but we could have the chance for some cranky winds. Now, with all that being said, we're going to have some soaking precipitation tomorrow. And again, like I said, we're expecting pretty much for the entire coverage area 1 to 2 inches of precipitation for many of us throughout Ohio tomorrow. And with that, we could see some localized flooding. So we need to make sure that you're aware of that. Localized flooding. We haven't had to deal with that in a couple of months here, but we're potentially going to be dealing with localized flooding, 1 to 2 inches. It's going to be heavy at times, but then it's going to quickly move out. Now, the chance for severe weather tomorrow is very low. I will say this. Let me go ahead and turn on the actual category outlooks of what they're thinking as far as categorical. If you look at the wind, this is where they kind of expect the heaviest winds to be tomorrow from the Storm Prediction Center. You can kind of see this here. Columbus, you're in this, but really anywhere in Ohio tomorrow, you're going to see a chance of some strong winds, breezy winds for tomorrow. Not expecting anything in the way of hail or tornadoes tomorrow. However, I do have to always mention it is non-zero. There's always a non-zero threat of tornadoes that are possible. What I mean by that is it's a very low-end threat, but you could always see or have a potential of a tornado, especially in tomorrow's setup. We never want to say it's non-zero due to the fact that we do have enough shear in the atmosphere, and if there's a big if this gets going in such a direction, looking at some of the model data, big if there, and I keep saying if, you might see a brief spin-up low-end tornado. I don't want to say it's not going to happen tomorrow due to the conditions tomorrow, especially with that wind gradient pattern that we're seeing. It is possible, so I'm not going to get everybody's hopes up, but it's going to be a very, very low-end threat. So don't take it for verbatim. Most of us are going to see hardly nothing tomorrow except gusty winds. Temperatures going to soar up into the 60s, which some of us are going to like tomorrow. It's beautiful out there today. And we're not going to get much of sunshine tomorrow either. So it's going to be kind of a dreary day tomorrow. Balmy, if you will. I don't know how else to describe it, with some rain showers starting here as we go into the overnight hours. And the winds are going to pick up tonight, too, as we head into tomorrow. Winds are going to slowly approach 20 to 30 miles an hour. And then tomorrow, as far as timing and looking at tomorrow, we have a very narrow window if this were to happen. Just depending on where you're at, kind of in the southeastern and southwestern portions of Ohio, I'll say more southeast Dayton area. You got about 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. kind of as the current model trends. If this could happen, and then as you move up to northeast Ohio and the Cleveland area, you're looking at about 3 to 8 o'clock. If anything were to happen tomorrow, kind of that peak time of what we expect. Let's look at some model data. Let's go ahead and turn on some model here. I'm first going to start with the winds, and we're going to look at the model data here. You can see, I'll put some probes up here as we get into the overnight hours tonight. We could see some of the winds coming in. Nothing to be overly exaggerated about. Let's go ahead and move this forward, and we'll go ahead and get into 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and let's go ahead and put some winds up here. You can see some embedded gusts here, 40. Kind of down here we have 30. Kind of throughout the area, just kind of some embedded gusts of 30 to 40 as we head into tomorrow morning. And then let's go ahead and bring it. You can kind of see that front starting to roll in here as we get towards the noon hour. You can see it coming down. Let's go ahead and crank it up. Here we go. There's where those heavier winds are starting to pick up down to the southwest. And kind of about 1 o'clock tomorrow, you can kind of see down here 50, 60 miles an hour, possible some very heavy winds here to the southwest portion of the state. So kind of looking at that, nothing, again, overly exaggerated. It's going to be gusty tomorrow. That's pretty much what's going to be. Let's take a look at the reflectivity at the same time tomorrow. Let's kind of look and see what's going on. You see some rain showers starting to get going here on the 18-hour. Let's go ahead and flip over to, I'm going to flip over to the 48-hour track real quick. Let's go NAM. Here we go. Give me 1 second here as we load up the NAM. Kind of seeing here tomorrow, you can see some rain coming through in the morning hours. And let's go ahead and bump this up to about 1 o'clock. And it's loading in here. Give me 1 quick second as it loads up. Scattered showers. There you go. Kind of different models have different runs, but pretty much it's going to be a soaker tomorrow is what we're going to see. And kind of looking at that, some of these embedded storms, and I hate to even use the word storms, and you could see some back here in Indianapolis. Hate to even use that word storm, but it is possible as we head into tomorrow. So the model of the story is, you can kind of see here as we get in that 3 o'clock range, here's where that line starts to form or tries to form a little bit with some heavy rain showers, maybe lightning, maybe not. Not a lot going on there, but this is where we could see some of that embedded storms tomorrow. That's why they put that marginal risk up for tomorrow, because alongside of this, you could see the potential of some wind gusts right around 58 miles an hour, which is severe criteria. Put the wind gust possibility back up here at the same time at 5 o'clock tomorrow. You kind of see you're hovering 30, 40, but some of these embedded gusts in here can get a little bit cranky as we zoom in. There's some spots here reaching 50 and potentially get up to 60 miles an hour tomorrow. So that's kind of what we have in the way of what's going to happen tomorrow. I just kind of want to quickly come on and put some of your some of your minds at ease. I see there's a lot of different posts out there, and we just have a lot of different things going on and a lot of different model data that's going on, and we have just a ton of different things that people are posting. But I wanted to come on quickly, put your mind at ease just a little bit. Is the main story for tomorrow is it's going to be rainy. You're going to see localized flooding, and you're going to see, pretty much in the terms of what's going on, some windy gusts. That's about it. Some low-end threats of marginal severe weather for tomorrow, but nothing overly exaggerated. And again, we can't rule out a brief spin-up low-end tornado. We're not trying to throw that out there to scare anybody. There are some people that are kind of over-exaggerating that point, in my opinion, but nothing to be overly concerned about. Yes, there always is a chance, especially when we see this tight of wind gradient, for a possibility of a brief low spin-up type tornado. My humble opinion, you have probably a greater chance of being and seeing wind damage tomorrow than actual tornado damage. So just kind of want to come on here because I see a lot of different things being thrown out there. A lot of different people are saying different things. Bottom line is it's going to be a soaker, 1 to 2 inches of rain expected pretty much for everybody in Ohio. Wind gusts can be up to 40 miles an hour as a general consensus around Ohio tomorrow. Some of those storms as we get into the afternoon hours, and I hate to even call them storms, between about 1 to 5 or 1 to 8, especially if you're in the eastern part of Ohio, you could see some wind gusts up to, I will say, 60 miles an hour that could be embedded in some of those as we get into the ground level. As we come in, again, we were looking at winds aloft. So as we get to the ground level, we could see some winds up to 60 miles an hour tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. And again, that low end threat. So don't cancel anything. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be outside. It's going to be rainy tomorrow. But don't get overly hyped in the situation. Yes, be prepared, but don't be scared as we see a lot of these different posts flying around there. Kind of that, it's going to be a tornado tomorrow. Okay, well, that's clickbait. So it's nothing to be overly exaggerated. Again, I think you're going to see more of a chance for wind damage than you do tornadoes. So rain and wind, story of tomorrow. Wind gusts generally up to 50 miles an hour across the area, 40 and then 50 to 60 as we move into the late afternoon hours in some parts, not all parts. And not everybody's going to see anything tomorrow except rain. So that's kind of the general consensus for tomorrow. But we want to come on here just kind of quickly, get ready, back in the seat. Again, we'll be watching this as the storms roll through. If there's anything to report, we continue to keep you updated, trying to get back in the seat here. It's been a while since I've actually done a live feed here, so it's kind of get my bearings straight again, and navigational aids and things, so trying to get everything working and prepped just before tomorrow. So that's kind of why I came live as well, is to make sure everything is rocking and rolling for tomorrow. So don't think we're going to see, again, much besides localized flooding and rain tomorrow. However, do make sure you have any of those outdoor loose items, Christmas decorations, that sort of thing. Make sure you, if you haven't taken those down yet, make sure you secure those. Secure the trash can, because you can see gusts generally up to 40 miles an hour tomorrow. So it's going to be gusty as we head into the afternoon hours. And it'll start here as we get into the overnight hours as well. Again, winds are going to start here in some areas that are already started as we head into the overnight hours, and it will pick up and peak into the noontime tomorrow. All right, with that being said, I wanted to quickly come on live and wanted you to make sure that you stay with us. You can always download our app. Don't forget about that as well. We'll pop up a quick app, or download our app in the App Store, pop up a quick graphic about that. You can download it. You can track the weather. You can see the forecast and the projected radar just like we are. Download it from the App Store, and if there's any alerts, obviously that will also come to your cell phone. Free of charge, Ohio News and Weather. Search for it in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. And again, always a good idea. Just make sure you charge your devices tomorrow as well. I always think that's a good idea. A lot of people kind of forget that, because if you have any type of power outages, and it's possible we could see some sporadic power outages tomorrow, make sure you have your devices charged. Just as kind of a general common sense thing as well. So with that being said, wanted to say good evening to all of you. We'll continue to update you as needed, especially as the new data comes out here as we head into the morning hours. We'll keep you updated. We'll make a post here probably around 1:30 in the morning is when the next summarization is going to come out. We'll look at it and kind of make a post around the 1 to 2 a.m. area as far as the potential of severe weather, and we'll keep you updated at that point. All right, hope you have a great evening. Hope everyone had a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon. If we don't talk to you, happy